Hey, it's Sigrun with Universal Pagan Temple, and let's talk about what's been going on today. So, X has been pretty hot with this topic, in that a couple of Christian pastors, in specific Dale Partridge and Joel Webbon, that I've talked about before, and then also other popular X accounts such as Eric Kahn. I get the kind of the pun in there. And then Defiant Baptist, and a lot of other accounts are coming out saying to repeal the 19th Amendment, which, gives the women in America the right to vote. And they came out with this in response to the, elections on Tuesday with Mondani in New York City, and they're, blaming women instead of, kind of looking at themselves and seeing why did our party lose. But I wanted to thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, if you're returning, thank you for coming back. We got lots of links below, to books and such, readings, buy me a coffee. If you give your support, I'd be very grateful. But let's get into the rest of the video. So I'm going to be going over a couple of tweets or posts or whatever you want to call them on X these days, from these Christian men who are digging the grave for the Republican Party and for Christianity as well. Because, this is not a good selling point for Christianity at all. Not that, numerous women, including myself, have faced a lot of prejudice and a lot of harm, hatred, scrutiny, and harm, physical and mental, from the church, no matter what denomination, across America and across the world. So Christianity doesn't have a good track record with women in the first place. These days and historically as well. But okay, let's look at this first post from Eric Kahn. He's saying, pandering to women doesn't work. They need to be led. I've seen 10 posts like this from conservative lady podcasters pointing out the truth about women voting patterns is not attacking or tearing them down. The conservative longhouse trademark must be torn down. And this is going to be a common theme where these Christian men are saying that Christian men are supposed to lead the women, and the vote is supposed to go to the head of the household, to men, which is absolutely ridiculous because Christian men are not good leaders, period. They're not good leaders of women. And I'll get more into that as we go along. This next post is from Defiant Baptist. I guess he thinks he's cool. He says, eventually you'll agree with us that it's time to repeal the 19th Amendment, and it may be sooner rather than later. Okay. And then Joel Webbon, he says, it's time, repeal the 19th in regards to the voting statistics for Mondani. And by the way, women voted for Mondani because of the economic reasons. It wasn't necessarily because he was Muslim, because obviously Trump isn't making things better economically. And so a socialist is going to make things, sell a better package. But apparently Mondani was backed by George Soros and his crew. So there you go. And Joel Webbon says, the lesson is not to appeal to liberal women. The lesson is to repeal women's right to vote. You don't argue with insanity. You mitigate it. This guy is just a basket case of insecurities. He's afraid of women. How does his wife feel? Jeez. And then he goes on to say, correct, blaming women is pointless. As at Desham, and a bunch of numbers, points out, the problem is women's desires. Their desires are wicked. Ooh, solution down below. Take away women's vote. Simple as. Now, he's referring to not Republican women, but Democrat women. And he's not referring to Republican women. And when he does shit like this, when these Christian men do shit like this, the Republican women, the Republican Christian women, are going to have a problem with it. And it's going to push them away from the party. They may not go to the Democratic Party, although some of them will, but they may go to a third party, independent, libertarian, what have you, because they don't want, Christian Sharia law. That's basically what they're, propagating for, is that these male pastors, they want Christian Sharia law. And it's not cool with a lot of people. And then this other pastor, Dale Partridge, he says the way to win women is to restore them to God's design, which is not leadership. No more manipulating and pandering to women. The men must rule their households, their cities, and their nation. Ooh. This is not oppression, but a recovery of biblical order and feminine dignity. Who are you to talk, dude? You're a man. You have no idea what feminine dignity means. You have never been a woman. You have never walked a mile in women's shoes. I mean, this guy, I'm sure he would just say to me, oh, well, it's in the Bible, in this verse that blah, 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 blah. Well, the Bible was written by men and for men. And it does not benefit women in any way because it was, written as a men's club. Just like Islam it's a men's club. If you've ever seen Muslim men that don't know each other, as soon as they figure out that they're, talking to another Muslim guy, oh, it's all salam alaikum. Yeah, they're instant bros. It's very much a gym bro mentality, and no offense to my pagan brothers who are gym bros, but you catch my drift when I say that these Christians, what they want is for women to be out of the way and submissive, and I actually think a lot of these Christian pastors are closeted gay guys. But him going on about the role of leadership, and I said I would get back to this. Me getting back to what I was saying about the head of households and men being the leaders, in this, Christian fantasy of a Christian theocracy, of Christian Sharia law that they want. It doesn't, it won't work out because it's not balanced. Theocracy usually doesn't work out because it's not balanced, especially, in a monotheistic sense. What these Christians want is, they want their monotheism, they want their masculine energy, monotheism, God only, no space for divine feminine. And I'm sure if this Dale Partridge had his way, Catholics wouldn't have any part of this either because of their worship of the Mother Mary and various other female saints. Okay, well, there's the issue there. But with these Christian pastors, they don't understand, and a lot of Christians don't understand, or they just push it under the rug, sweep it under the rug. They don't understand how unbalanced their faith is and how unbalanced their God is. They think that because their God is all powerful, that it is balanced. No, it's not, because it doesn't recognize the divine feminine, a goddess aspect, any sort of goddess. which it needs because within nature, there is male and female. And what these Christians want is only male. Well, you can't create without a female. And for these Christians they think that they can create with just male. Well, the women are going to rebel. They're not going to be happy, especially repealing the 19th Amendment, okay, would take a lot of work that these Christians are not ready to put in. I think this is just we can't take them too seriously, but at the same time, we do have to take them seriously. Because, this would take how much? Repealing the 19th Amendment would take 2/3 of Congress and 3/4 of the state, which is pretty important because, within Congress, there's a lot of females in there, female senators. And it's just, why would you go mentally so backwards, especially within your own party, the Republican Party, because there are female Republican senators. Why would you go backwards like this? These Christians and these Christian pastors want to go backward like this because they just plain old don't like women. They hate them. And then another post here from the same pastor. I don't think we should repeal the 19th Amendment because I don't love women. Okay. I think we should repeal the 19th Amendment because I love America and American women, and I want to protect our nation from their suicidal empathy. Well, here's the thing, dude. Suicidal empathy. A lot of what you have a problem with women is a result of Christianity. It's a result of how Christianity has treated women in this country and has treated them in the past. So women have more empathy for people they believe are marginalized and actually are marginalized. And because they're in that situation, or they were raised in that situation where they saw Christian men treat other people like shit. Like this guy, I'm sure Dale Partridge treats, waiters in restaurants like absolute shit. I'm sure he's a male Karen. What do they call him, a Kevin? I'm sure he's a Kevin. But this, it will fall on its face. It won't be successful, but it will hurt the Republican Party for these Christians to continue to push this. And like I've said a couple of times in the past, day and a half that they've been pushing this on X, is, this is just digging a grave for Christianity in this nation. Which, I necessarily don't have a problem with, but it doesn't need to happen in this manner. But I guess if they want to take it in this direction, okay, well, that's on you. That's on your pastors. That's on these Christian, Protestant, whatever pastors, that if they want to piss women off that much, even women that support or have similar views to them, go ahead, do it. And then your party will never win again because of this, because you'll never, repeal the 19th Amendment, and you'll just piss off all the women because, why vote for this party? I won't be voting for Republican anytime soon because, these Christians are riding in the coattails of this party. And the sensible thing would be to kick them out of the party, but that's not going to happen anytime soon because of, the whole AIPAC thing and all that corruption. I mean, it's pretty deep-seated. Thank you so much for listening to my rant today. I know I've gone on for a little longer, and there were some things I wanted to touch upon, but I want to keep it short because I got another video I'm going to be making tonight. But until next time, blessed be.